everyone, welcome back to the channel, and it is officially October. That means Halloween month, so you know I gotta upload a video on Halloween. And what better video to upload on Halloween than part 3 of MDPOPE 3 full in-depth review. Now you may be wondering yourself, why are there so many parts of the MDPOPE 3 in-depth review? This movie is almost like 4 fucking hours long, so there is no way in hell I can do the whole thing in like 1 or 2 or 3 parts, so it's a lot. But this is the third part. The first part I uploaded like last year. The second one I uploaded a few weeks ago, and now here, what better time to do the third part than on Halloween? This is not the only Halloween video I'm going to be uploading. I'm going to be uploading, I'll see what I'll do, alright? And similar to how Cold Raven did his Ogrish Collection 3 review, I have 2 candles here because, you know, it's Halloween, it has to be scary, it's all dark and shit. So yeah, MDPOPE 3, so we're going to be continuing where we left off, and we left off on the last clip that we left off on was a mentally ill guy who goes crazy when he has sex for the first time. I mean, that's pretty much what it was, you know. It was a guy who was obviously, you know, and he was going cuckoo for that coochie. Anyways, we left off from there, and we pick up right with the clip that precedes. And the clip that precedes is a guy who is being held down by like 3 people. They're stepping on his head, I think. They're stepping on his legs, his hands, and they're holding one leg, but the other leg is also being held, but there's a guy with a big stick. This ain't no little pussy stick. This is like a big, almost a branch, almost like, I think it really was a branch, like a very thick branch, and they're smashing his leg with it, like hitting him right where the knee, or like right below the knee, and they break his leg, and then they go for the other one, but then the clip ends. And then it shows a woman with a black, crusty, maggot-infested vagina. She's got her legs spread open. She's on like a hospital table because you can hear people in the background. You can hear beeping and shit. And she's got this nasty ass, like, it looks burnt. It's burnt. It's black and crusty. It's got maggots coming out of it. They're using pliers to like pull it out as much as they can. I'm so close to putting out that flame because I keep pulling over it. But yeah, disgusting as hell. And then it shows a guy who just has unsimulated sex with a rooster. Just no, like there's not much else to say. He like lays the rooster on a table, holding it by like the back and like holding its head down, and you can see the rooster just kind of doesn't know what's going on. And then he sticks his dick in the rooster's ass and starts fucking it. That's it. And then it shows a man who has sex with a disabled midget woman, you know. I mean, that's what it is, but, you know, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, you know. Everyone has the right to sex. Everyone can do it. I haven't done it because obviously I'm a loser. But anyways, you know, that's what happens, you know. Everyone has the right to sex, even midgets. That's my verdict. And then it shows, you guys have probably seen this video. It's a kid who has his fingers like inside, like his fingers are like that inside a car door, and he is holding it there, and he's obviously a little scared looking, and then they just slam the door of the car on his fingers, and he makes this noise. He goes, ah! You guys have probably seen that video because it was a meme for some time. And they leave the door on his fingers for a bit, and they're like yelling at him in some sort of language. So maybe this was a little delinquent rat, and this was his punishment. But eventually they open the door, and he runs away with like his like little broken ass fingers. I don't know what he did, but who knows? Maybe he deserved it. Maybe he was an asshole. But anyways, it shows after that, it shows a man pull out a gun. So there's a guy sitting right here, and there's some other person sitting over here, and in front of the guy, our main guy, there are 2 women. The 2 women happen to be his wife and his mother-in-law. He then pulls out a gun and shoots his wife and kills her. He shoots his mother-in-law. She gets up holding her like wound, and she tries to run away. He follows her to the next room, and then he shoots her and kills her. But the craziest part about that is right after he's done killing them, he does this. He dances away Joker style, like when he's on stage waiting to be called out in the 2019 movie. He just dances away, holding the gun up in the air, you know? some sort of salsa dance. I guess he was on some Joker type of shit. And this next clip was called Squirm in Your Seats. And I actually kind of did squirm in my seat at this clip because it shows a sharp knife being dug underneath a weird rotten nail, and then like a finger or a toenail, and then it's pulled out and yanked out. So that's... I didn't like it. And then it shows a crazy cam girl, like if you know those porn cam girls that like shake their asses and like pathetic tits and all that. But this girl is doing something different. I've actually seen this clip on Heavy R, if you fucking know that website. It's a horrible website. She's using a knife to slice her neck and her face, and she's just covered in knife slices and wounds, and then she fucks herself with the knife handle. Not the knife blade, thankfully, just the knife handle. So even she knew that that was a boundary that she could not cross. And then it shows a guy who does a flip on his bike in a skate park. And you know that part where there's like a sharp part and then it goes down to like the bowls where you skate and you do all those tricks and stuff. He does a flip, but when he comes back down, his neck lands in between that little spot and he just decapitates himself. His head comes right off, but it's fake. It is a fake clip. I know it's fake because it has fake ass blood and it's fake as hell. And after that, this is a pretty like sad and like pretty disturbing, pretty sad clip. It shows a father. It's like a dad and a mom and their child in a warehouse. The kid is like, obviously an adult. The dad goes up to his son and puts a gun right on the table and tells him to kill himself, or maybe because there's no audio, but I imagine he put the gun on the table and was like, here, kill yourself. So he does. He grabs the gun and he shoots himself in the head and he falls over. And then the father and the mother, they both fall on the ground and they start screaming and like kicking and crying and like, damn, man, you told your son to kill himself and he did. Now you gotta live with the fact that you basically killed your son. Not directly, but you psychologically made him kill himself. So, damn. I don't know what that guy's problem was, but, you know, he told his son to do something. Unfortunately, his son listened. And then it shows a guy. This is like, okay, so here's this really, really stupid segment, and stupid segment in this mixtape. It's called Embarrassing Moments in Porn. So it's just a guy who's like very aggressively like jackrabbiting this girl's mouth with his dick. You know, like a face fuck. And she cries, because, like, you know, she's never experienced something like this in her life. But, yeah, it's pretty freaking awkward. And then this next clip is of a glory hole, where this woman has to do a glory hole, like, blowjob. But the dicks reek, like, really bad. So she's like, I don't want to do it, because, you know, they smell like ass, I guess. And then that's the end of the awkward moments in porn. Thankfully, it's just 2 clips, because they're absolutely retarded. Like, I hate those segments. And then it shows a woman. They're all sitting at a bar and they're doing like the flaming cocktail thing where, you know, there's like a pyramid of like on fire drinks. They're pouring the drinks into the fire, but it jumps out and it lands on a woman's face and you can literally see her turn into Ghost Rider. She's running and her head is on fire. Here, let me show you what it looks like. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. Can you imagine if I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. And then it shows a guy who gets both of his ears cut off, and then he's forced to eat his own ears. And if that wasn't bad enough, they kill him, and they disembowel him, and he's dead. And then this scene was so sad. It shows a newborn baby that's lodged in a drain pipe, and they, like, saw it out, and it's dead. It's obviously dead. Some, like, asshole mom or asshole dad, like, flushed the baby down the drain. I don't know how do you get a baby inside a drain? They're, like, big. This wasn't a small, like, fetus. This was a genuinely, like, average-sized newborn. But, oh, sorry, throat is dry. But, some people do not deserve to have a parent. Do not deserve to have kids. I mean, every kid deserves to have a parent. But not every kid deserves to have a mom. Or, like, you know, not every parent deserves to have a kid. If you've seen that fucking comment in, like, every single comment section ever. And then it shows a hawk that, like, if you don't know hawks, we obviously know what hawks are, but I don't know if you know this, but hawks are strong as shit. So this hawk, they steal like small dogs, they steal cats, they steal fish and stuff. But this time, a hawk tried to steal a baby, and it actually gets it off and it actually starts getting some air. You know, it starts getting some distance in the air. But then it drops the baby after, thankfully. I mean, the parent literally looked away for 1 second. They looked back. Oh, my kid is flying in the air. Uh-oh. And then it shows a fish that bites a hold of a guy's penis. Like, he jumps into the water, and then he comes running out, and he's, like, covering his crotch. And then he reveals, and it's literally a fish attached to his dick. Like, straight up what a dolphin does, where they stick their dick in a fish's mouth. I don't know why they do that. And then it shows a clip that's called... beheading adults is getting boring or something like that. Like, adult beheading is boring. And it's literally just a teenager, like somebody my age. Well, I'm not a teenager, I'm an adult. I'm 18 now, so I'm officially, legally allowed to watch these things. So you guys can't say anything about me watching these things anymore. But it's someone who's younger than me or maybe the same age as me, because the title is literally adult beheading is getting boring. So I can assume that it's a child or somebody who is not of legal age who is getting beheaded. But it shows a kid in the back of a trunk of a car and like a truck, and they're getting like beheaded in public, and that's it. And then it shows vintage amputee stump fuck porn. It's literally a girl who has a stump on her leg, stump leg, and she's shoving it in this other girl's vagina, and it is really old porn. And then it shows a video which I'm probably sure is fake. It shows a guy who slingshots a rock on like literally like an Angry Bird slingshot, like David and Goliath style. But it bounces off of like whatever surface it hit, and it comes right back and hits him in the forehead. But it kind of looks fake, you know. It kind of looks fake because of the way the camera falls so conveniently next to this guy's face, so you can get a really good look at that wound. It's all just a little too inconvenient for me, so I don't really know. Maybe you guys can be the judge of it, but I personally, I think it's probably fake because, like, you know, the luck of hitting that thing and having it come back to you, not only that, but you falling over and the camera landing oh so conveniently next to your head so the audience can get a good fucking look at that wound. I don't know. I'm skeptical. And then it shows a little boy who climbs over a fence to get his toy. Like, he's climbing over the fence, and he jumps down on the other side. And then, like 7 or 8 dogs just rush over and just beat the shit out of him. Like, they just eat him up for dinner, and they had seconds. Like, there was probably nothing left of this kid. Like, he just touched it. It's like the silverfish in Minecraft. As soon as you touch the ground, they all come rushing over and they just devour this kid. And it's playing a slowed down version of the Inspector Gadget cartoon theme song. So there's a lot of that weird shit in this movie. And then she's a cam girl. Oh my god. She takes a shit, and the shit is hard as hell. Like, it's a rock. Like, this is a weapon. And then she uses it as a dildo. Yeah, moving on. And then it shows a slip and slide blowjob porn. Pretty much this guy is at the end of a slip and slide. He's got his cock out, and there's another woman on the other end. She runs and she slides in the slip and slide, mouth open, and the cock perfectly goes inside her mouth. So that's the whole gimmick. That's it. Nothing else happens after that. And then it shows the famous diving split face video. Yeah, you already know what this one is, boys. It's the guy, for those who don't know, it was a guy who jumped off of a ledge, but he tried to jump off a ledge into a lake or an ocean or whatever the hell this thing was, but he slipped, and there was another concrete like curb there that like it went like that and it went down and it had a sharp edge. He slams his face right into it, and then it shows what happened afterwards. His face is just like split open. You can see his teeth. You can see, like, they're pushing his face back together like that because he's got, like, the flaps open. That's a classic. I remember seeing that video on YouTube, of all places. YouTube. There used to be so much gore on YouTube, but then it was all taken down. And then it shows Funky Town gore. If you guys want to know more about Funky Town gore, go watch my video on Funky Town gore. But for those who want the short version, it is pretty much a cartel that tortures this man beyond belief. They cut off his arms. They cut open they peel the skin off his face, all the while he's screaming and he's on adrenaline so that he can like stay alive and like feel the torture. But yeah, if you guys want to know more about that or If you guys want to hear the audio, go watch my video on that. And it shows a guy who's like eating this girl's ass and like kissing it. And then he pulls down her underwear and it's revealed she's got a penis, you know? But who knows, maybe for some people that's even better. And then it shows this fake, I remember seeing this years ago on YouTube. Because it was obviously so fake that it was allowed on YouTube. I bet if I go look on YouTube, it's probably still there. Or maybe it isn't because YouTube is a bitch now. But it shows a guy who it's like a game show. Like they're on stage and there's obviously an audience. But it shows a guy in a guillotine, like, you know, those old guillotines where you let go and it chops out the guy's head. It's like a game show where they tell this woman, they're like, come right up. Drop the guillotine on this guy's head. She dies. She lets go of the rope. It falls. What a burp. Oh, God. I wish I could say take that shit with you like Cold Raven, but I don't want to steal his joke. I'm going to have to come up with my own like running gag. But the guillotine falls on the guy's head. His head does not come off. Like you can see blood gush out of his neck and out of his mouth, but it's obviously so fake. Like, I remember people actually fell for it, but nah. It's fake, man. It is fake. And everyone starts freaking out because they think it's real, you know, because people were stupid back then. I'm not saying they're not stupid now, but we were very quick to believe back then. We were very, guess what? Look up in the ceiling. There's Gullible on the ceiling. And then it shows a guy who has no dick, but instead he has a like little vagina thing that he's made for himself, and he's doing this. He's like doing the DJ thing with his dick, and he actually comes. It squirts out, and it's like when you squeeze a ketchup bottle, like little bubbles of like ketchup come out. You know what I mean? And that's what's happening. And it's just a guy who's on the street, just laying there. He's got his chest open, and you can see his heart boom, 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 beating out of his chest. Literally, heart beating out of his chest. And then it shows a guy. This clip is called "The Most Pathetic Way to Die." It shows a guy who is laying on the ground. He's dead. His ass is up, and a donkey is laying on top of him, which I assume the donkey crushed him or something. And you know, the way the donkey's laying on him, and the way he's got his booty in the air, his booty. It looks a little suggestive, you know. It looks like, you know. And then it shows there's no better way to describe this. It shows this, it literally says the kid has autism. I'm not trying to be mean when I say disabled or midget. I'm just saying what I see, all right? I see what I see and I say what I see. And it's just a guy, the autistic guy, who's screaming because he thought his mom pulled his tongue out of his mouth, but obviously it's not his tongue, but, you know. Bless his heart, he thinks it is. And oh my God. And it shows women who are vomiting on top of another woman. And it's really what? I thought I wouldn't have to gag again. I hate gagging. They're just vomiting on top of it. Ah! It's so white. Okay, we're done. They're vomiting on her, and it's really white, and I don't like it. Okay, and it shows a guy with an absolutely destroyed face. Like, it's mostly in the jaw area. His jaw is all, like, broken and shit, and he's all like, ugh, but he's alive somehow. That wasn't a gag. That was just me making a sound. Like, he's literally going, like, because, like, obviously. And it shows a guy who shoves a giant, absolutely ginormous dildo up his ass somehow, you know. I don't know how the hell people, like, find out that, I don't know, how do you find out that you can shove, like, a log up your ass and be fine? Like, you gotta experiment. You don't just sit there one day and you're like, oh, I can do this. No, you gotta do it, you know. You gotta actually go out and find, like, a steel girder and, like, shove it up you, and you're like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. That's cool. I don't know. And then it shows a kid with, like, SpongeBob teeth and, like, like Moe's haircut, like a bowl cut. Oh my God, that is a lethal combination. He's talking to the camera guy, and his friends are behind him, and the camera guy pulls out a gun and just shoots the kid in the face and kills him. The other kids run away crying. You just murdered a child. And then it shows a guy in a room full of Japanese women's asses. Like, you can see the walls are covered in asses, and underneath each ass you can see a picture of the woman that corresponds to that ass, and he's touching all of them, and it's like a symphony of like these Japanese women doing like hentai moans, and he's going because this is like his symphony. This is his magnum opus of music, which is just making all these women lose their minds. But that's it. You've probably seen that video. I'm sure I saw that video somewhere a few years ago when I was a kid. I don't know where I saw it. And then it shows guys who are just beaten up and brutalized, laying on the street, and then they're just poured with like whole containers full of gasoline. Like, I work in a construction site. Those things are huge and heavy, and they just wasted it all on these two people. Like, you could have at least like shared it, like a little bit of gasoline on this guy and a little bit of gasoline on this other guy, and you still could have had some gasoline, but they wasted two full things of gasoline. I don't know why. You know, you could have put that, they're like in Africa, you could have put that to better use. You could have used it for like your little like car and like driven to up a hill to get some water, but no, instead you used it on these fuckos. I don't know why. And then it shows a guy who is just crushing his dick with a rolling pin, just going like that, and then just rolling it all over his dick and balls. You know how it is. And then this other clip that was just disgusting. It shows a fat woman and then a very skinny woman. So like, what a duo, you know, fat ass and twig. Fat ass and twig. It shows this like fat woman who's ripping ass. She's just absolutely sharting all over this woman. Not pooing, just farting on this woman's face. She has to stick her face up to her ass and just take it all. It is disgusting. I like, you better be paying good, man. And it shows a guy in a computer lab who gets jumped by 3 other guys with machetes. Like, he's just sitting there in the computer lab. Well, he literally walked into the computer lab. 2 seconds later, he's got a face full of machete. Like, they're hitting him and stuff. He's not dying because the machetes are pretty dull, I guess. But he's like, no, please stop. And they kick him they kick him and they keep hitting him with the machetes, and then they all just leave. And then it shows this really weird porn. It's a woman who went to the doctor. This is fake, by the way, who has a vagina in the back of her head, like just a straight up vagina. And so the doctor sticks his dick in it, and his mouth and his dick comes out, goes through the back of her head, comes out her mouth. If you've seen that clip from Dead Alive, this one right here where the zombie's mouth goes through the girl's back of the head and it comes out of her mouth, that's basically what happened. So yeah. And then there's a Jamaican guy laying on the street, and he's got his leg bone sticking out. If you see an angry kid, you can see the bone. Look at the bone. That's pretty much what's going on. I know none of you know what Angry Kid is. I love Angry Kid. That is hilarious. It's like this. It's made by like the same people that made Wallace and Gromit. You've probably seen it on TikTok because, you know, God forbid TikTok leaves any stone untouched. No, they got Family Guy, then they got Moral Oral, now they got Angry Kid. Who knows? Maybe next they're gonna get freaking the Caillou, you know? Who knows? TikTok is desperate as hell to get their dirty paws on something and just ruin it. You know, I hate that. And it shows a tied up guy. He's literally tied up on a bed, hands and feet tied. Like, you know that old torture device, the stretcher? He's on one of those things, and there's a woman who cuts open his testicle, like, sack, and pulls his balls out. Like pulling it out, and then cutting, like, the little string that's holding it, and cuts it out. But I'm pretty sure he's doing this willingly, you know? Because if not, that would just be, like, fucked up. Just to, like, get tied to a chair and get your balls cut out. And then it shows a small child. This was at the end of Snuff 473. He's just sweeping the sidewalk with like this shitty ass corn broom, and some guy just comes up to him and just beats the piss out of this kid, stomping on his face, stomping on his back. He grabs the dustpan and just lays it into him, and then the store owners come out and they chase the guy away, and you can see this kid on the sidewalk. It's horrible. It is horrible, but just the thought of some guy like walking down the street, this random ass kid who he's never seen in his life, and he's just gonna ruin him and then walk away like nothing happened. Like, it is crazy. And it shows a guy who is ruthlessly stabbed in the chest, he's stabbed in the face, he's stabbed in the neck, he's just stabbed everywhere. It's like in a dark forest, so it's obviously some sort of cartel thing. And it's just a guy with an like, you know when like anime or like Dragon Ball Z, when like a character falls from the sky and then they land in the ground and it creates like this huge crater. This guy's got like a huge crater in his head, so deep you can literally see his skull like a circle like that. So it looks like when in Dragon Ball Z, in like the first episode, when I forgot that guy's name. It's like one of the villains from the first episode. He lands on Earth in like his little circle ship. That's what it looks like. I'm pissing off a lot of... I know Cold Raven is a huge Dragon Ball fan, so who knows? I'll probably piss him off with this video. And then it's just a guy riding a bike, but he's got a suction cup dildo attached to the bike. I don't know if it's suction cup or if he manually like sewed it there, but he's riding the bike, and when you do the motion of the bike to like pedal it, his ass is going up and down on the dildo, so you know that's what happens. And then it shows this awful clip of a girl who had her brain like literally scalped and ripped open by a carnival ride, and she's dead, and people are screaming and crying trying to get her out, but she's dead, man. And it shows a line of small children. They're all rode up like some sort of ISIS deal, and they shoot them all in the back of the head, but these are like young ass children, like under the age of 10. And there's another kid in the back who's not even part of this little line, and he's crying because obviously he just saw like probably his friends die, or his brothers, I don't know. And we're on the last page right now because obviously this is a long movie, so this is gonna have to be part 4. And then it's just a guy with this super incredibly very tiny Tic Tac penis. Like, it is so small. He's getting jerked off by like some women who are obviously like making fun of him and laughing at him. They only have to use like one finger to do it. Like, damn, man, that is a horrible curse. And it shows a guy in this is funny. I don't care what anyone says. This is a funny clip. It shows a guy in the back of a police car trying to escape. Oh god, I'm thinking about that vomit clip. He's trying to escape, but the police car crashes, and this guy, he gets sucked out of the back like window like nothing. Oh god, I gotta sneeze. Hang on. It's coming. Fuck. I can't sneeze. But he gets sucked out of the back. Like, he just flies out. Like, you know in, like, 2001 A Space Odyssey, when the guy just flies out, he flies off into space? That's what it looked like. Oh, I keep trying to sneeze, but I can't. Oh. I can't sneeze. Fuck it. And then it shows some sort of reality TV show. This is actually pretty sad. It shows a woman with a huge ass. Like, it's bigger than this screen, you know. It is bigger than this screen. It is like so freaking big. Like, it's probably like a cancer thing or like a tumor thing. But she's crying because she's like, obviously she has such a horrible curse of having like such a big badonkadonk. And it's sad. And it shows a guy who could be a rapist, who could, I don't know, you know, you should never believe when people are like, this guy got his penis cut off, but he's a rapist, so it's okay. You know, you never know if this was like literally just a helpless, innocent victim, but they're trying to justify because they're like, oh wait, it was a rapist, so you know, we're doing you guys a favor. You never know, you never know. And he's being like stripped and like sodomized, so they're shoving shit up his ass, and like he's just being beaten up. But you know, people may say, oh, the clip didn't say it was a rapist, but some people might think that it's a rapist. But I don't know. You never know. And then it shows a guy who he walks up to these two girls on the couch. They're drinking wine and having a conversation, typical white bitch behavior. And he's jerking off, and he comes on the girl's face. Like, he literally comes on the girl's face. She turns around, she gets a face full of cum, and they scream and they jump out of the couch, and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because, like, they obviously didn't expect that. And the guy who's filming is just laughing. So I guess that's his idea of a joke. And then the last clip of this part, it shows an Asian guy who is tied up to a chair like this, and they're cutting off all of his fingers. They're just cutting them all off, and they finish it off by beheading him. And that's it for this part. It was a whole 30 minutes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I will have more Halloween videos coming this month, because obviously this isn't going to be the only Halloween video I want to make. But yeah, it was awesome. It's great to be back and making more videos. Cold Raven recently uploaded Stars of the YNC 3. I watched it, of course. It was hilarious. Like, this is probably Cold Raven's... excuse me. Take that shit with you. I'm sorry. I have to do it. I have to do it. It's such an iconic part of Cold Raven's videos. But it was hilarious. It was like... Honestly, I think it's his funniest gore mixtape review to date. So, you have to go watch his new video. Stars of the YNC 3. It is awesome, and it is the first gore review that we've had since his return. So that is awesome. I'm so glad you're back, Cold Raven. If you ever watch this, I love you. I'm so glad you're back, and I can't wait to see you do MDPOPE 3. I can't wait for you to do everything. There's just so much stuff I want to see you do. He said he was gonna do Ogrish Collection 6. Sorry, something's going on with the camera. He said he was gonna do Ogrish Collection 6, so I cannot wait for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I don't really like saying that, but if you want more people to know about my name, and you want me to spread my name because you like me and you like my videos and you like my shit, do that, or you don't have to, if you just want to watch my videos, you don't even have to subscribe to me. If you just want to watch my videos and watch me be an idiot, do that, that makes me just as happy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Don't need the fucking candles anymore.